Hey folks, welcome to another training video. We're going to be talking about the Images Gadget today, which, as you can probably guess, helps make inserting images onto a page even easier than it is already. Let's get inside OU Campus and take a look. The Images Gadget exists on the sidebar as one of the context-specific gadgets that I've mentioned in the past. If I open up the sidebar right now in the Pages list view, we won't see the gadget because it only becomes useful when we're editing a page in some capacity. So let's go onto a page and edit the main content region. I've chosen the Student Union page inside my Campus Life directory because I want to add some photos to spruce up the page. Alright, now that I'm inside Just Edit, we can see on the sidebar that the Images Gadget is now showing up for me. Opening up the gadget, I'm going to start seeing a ton of images populating. These are images that exist inside the default image directory for my site. If you're interested in learning on how to change that directory, stay tuned. I'll cover that in just a sec. Anyway, we can see where this default directory is located right at the top of the gadget. First of all, let's change this directory to get some different images to appear in the gadget. I can click either the folder icon in the title bar or this Select New Location link and a dialog box will show up. Let's choose another image folder, like the Campus subfolder inside the Images directory that exists in Resources. My new images will immediately start populating, and now I can scroll through an image that fits my situation best. Once I find it, I can then click and drag the image to exactly where I want it on the page, and the Insert Edit Image dialog box appears with the dependency tag for my image pre-populated. I can fill in my image information just like normal, and after taking a second to finish that, I will click OK. So, therein lies the benefit of using the Images Gadget. Rather than using the WYSIWYG toolbar tools to insert an image and then having a dialog box block our view of the page while we browse for an image, we can preview our images directly from the sidebar in the gadget and save a few mouse clicks by dragging and dropping. I also forgot to mention that when I'm looking at images in the gadget, I can also click an image to get a larger preview, and then I can click Insert from there instead of dragging and dropping. Okay, so that covers the main functionality of the gadget. This one is pretty straightforward, so there's not too much to cover. Before we end, I wanted to show how to change the default image directory really quickly. This can only be done if you're a level 9 or 10 administrator, so if you're a lower level user, you can probably close the video now if you wanted. I also need to log out of my level 6 user account and into a level 10 user account, so hold on just a second. Alright, now I'm logged in as a level 10 user. Anyway, to change the default image directory, we're going to use a directory variable, which allows us to adjust certain parameters that will affect a directory's or even site's worth of pages all at once. Let's just use the Campus Life directory in our example here. I'm going to go to the root of the site and then hover over the Campus Life directory. Under Edit, I'll click Access and then scroll to the bottom of the dialog box. Once I'm there, notice how I have an inherited directory variable called default image folder that drops me off at the /images directory. I'm going to add a variable for this folder and then select from the drop-down default image folder. This will overwrite the value for the variable that I've set at a higher level. Finally, I just need to enter in the location for the new directory. I'll choose the location that I used earlier, which was _resources /images/campus. Make sure you don't add a trailing slash to the path, otherwise it won't work. Once I save this, I can then go to a page in this directory, then I can enter an editable region, and then open up my Images Gadget again. We can see that now I'm being taken to the Campus subfolder by default. Now, if I were to go to another directory in my site and repeat the process, the Images folder off of the root would still be my default directory because I only adjusted the directory variable for Campus Life. So there we have it, folks. Here's a quick recap of the Images Gadget. First of all, the gadget resides in the sidebar and will only appear when you're inside an editable region or in the source editor. Use the Images Gadget to quickly preview and insert images onto a page without having to use the toolbar of the Just Edit or Classic Editor. Finally, if you're an administrator and want to change the default image directory so that the gadget pulls from a different location by default, use the directory variables to adjust the default directory path. That does it for the Image Gadget, everyone. Thanks for watching.